All
Oh, this
right.
meeting's being recorded.
Yeah, I wish I could do these in person, but for now we are limited to this until I get more money or so I'm just gonna start the podcast, but I want to learn to fly eventually. So when I learn to fly, I can just fly around and film these. I can bag episodes flying around to my different friends.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's untapped territory. Like
yeah,
I feel like that's like Casey Neistat level of niche, like YouTube vlogger that you could be. You know, you could be the guy who does a
yeah.
podcast and then vlogs his own
Flies
private
around, yeah.
flights. You know,
That'd be
you
sick. Or
could do them
even
on the
on the
flight.
plane.
You could do it on the
Yes.
plane,
Oh my
dude.
God.
This is we're like reaching out 15, 20 years.
Bro.
You know what? We're gonna move this up.
Yeah.
Fast track this a little bit. We're looking like 2-3 years max into the future right now,
Yeah.
and we're predicting it. This is one of those like in like 5 years this is gonna be a meme. You just don't understand it. Things like that. Have you seen those?
No, I'm not too familiar with I'm really bad at memes. People send me memes like that guy that like welcome back to Push to Talk, by the way. I'm joined by Jensen Cameron, the drummer, actor, guitarist, comedian, funny guy with a good smile.
I've
Um,
never had so many accolades put behind my name before. I feel so flustered.
yeah, I don't know where. Okay, so yeah, that guy that always has like a meme to show you, and he's like, "Hey, look at this meme," and you have to be like, "I get it. That's me." I'm that guy that has to like pretend to get it. I just don't get memes. I've never been good with memes.
I'm the guy showing the memes, and my girlfriend
Ooh.
is you in this situation. Like
Yeah.
I'll wake her up in the morning, and she's like, "Okay," I'm such an asshole. Like my first instinct is, "Oh, she didn't laugh hard enough. She must not have gotten there," or something like that. I'm like, "You know what the post is referencing?" And then I'm just like, "Are you really mansplaining a fucking Marvel meme to your girlfriend, dude?" Like,
Or you're like, "Oh, she didn't get that one. Here's another one," and then she has to like pretend to laugh again.
no.
Um,
She cut me off a couple of months ago. That if she doesn't laugh at the
nice.
first one, she's like, "All right, go back to work.
Yeah, I just
I'm
got to the point where I was
sleeping."
telling my friends, I was like, I just don't like memes. I don't think they're that funny. I'm a big GIF guy. Love GIFs.
Okay.
Moving images, revolutionary, man.
I gotta say, I'm feeling this might be a controversial opinion.
Uh-huh.
Less controversial than the opposite, I must say. I am
Uh-huh.
so glad that you were on the GIF train as opposed to the GIF defectors.
I don't know anybody that says GIF unironically, to be honest with you.
I know them, but not for long. They don't stay in my life. Don't associate with this scum, even though the creator was like, "It's GIF,
Did he say
sorry."
that?
He did.
Wow.
Even though it's like graphic.
Nah, I feel like
GIF.
he's just like trying to be like meta or something. He's like trying to change like the way the world perceives GIFs, you know?
Fucking meta contrarians, man. Shit.
Okay, so I Jensen and I went to high school together. He was a year below me, or maybe 2 years, I don't remember. And
I think it was
basically,
one.
it's been like 5 years since we've talked. Probably like 7 years since I've seen him in person. I need you to catch me up.
Whoa, that I just got like real hit in the face with like a bag of reality. Just like it's been 7 years since
Yeah,
like wow.
it feels
I
like I
mean
never
like
missed a beat though.
honestly, and that's how you can tell, you know? Like
Yeah.
that's how I've always like with all of my oldest friends, I've always like come back to them and been like, you know what? If the next time you see him, it feels like you're literally just like, hey, where were we 7 years
Yeah.
ago? All right, right there.
It's
Wait,
so
what was it? What
weird.
was it? There was I'm delayed on this.
Mm-hmm.
They plan it.
Planet? Oh, a joke. It's my joke, right?
It was your
How do you,
joke.
how,
I think it was the last thing you said to me right before we saw each other, or like right the last thing we like said to each other before I moved, and like
yeah,
that's
so
last time we saw each other.
I thought this joke was the funniest thing ever in high school. I told it to everybody. I was like, how do you throw a party in space? You plan it. I
And
was
what
that.
time was that party in space?
I don't know. What time was it? I
Bro, it was
don't know.
launch time.
Bro, I don't know. My memories, I get hit in the head for an hour every day. Like, you think I remember things? I just,
That's fair.
you
That's
know what
fair.
I
You know what? I
mean?
get that. I get that.
Yeah, so I need you to catch me up basically from the minute you graduated high school, and we can increment it. But what did you do then after I left? Did you like immediately get into a band, or like what happened there?
Oh, golly gee. So,
Because I know you were playing drums a little bit. When I met you, you were a big
yeah.
guitar guy, and you started playing on your sister's drums one day, right?
Yeah. So, let me how far back should I go to like catch everybody up, you know?
Give me the big important things. Like I know you joined Chivalry's Not Dead at one point.
Yes.
Okay.
So, oh, I missed that. Just like hearing those three words in succession just brings me back this wave of just like
I remember this
real.
hard photo of you taken like at this like industrial plant, and you're like looking hard with your drumsticks and stuff, bro. It was so cool.
It was an abandoned fucking hotel.
Oh, was it?
We
Okay.
just like we showed up and we had like the photographer's like brother or something like that, like at the end of the site, like as the lookout in case the cops were coming.
The
Because apparently
lookout.
a lot of people had been coming to this like abandoned hotel, and we were just like, all right, we're gonna get in there, like take shots all around, and then get out.
Dude, that's sick.
And it was
Was it in Leesburg?
ah, yeah, one of those surrounding towns
Gotcha.
in
Okay.
Leesburg. I think it started with
Cool.
an A, maybe not Annandale,
Yeah. Something like that.
something like that. Anyway,
Okay. And
um,
so you joined the band. Did you guys like tour at all, like locally, like shows?
yeah. So let me run it back to
Okay.
when we first separated. California. Yeah, separated feels a really bad,
Yeah, I didn't like that
sad.
word.
I didn't. Well, I feel like in this context, separate implies that we will reattach.
Yeah,
This is
100%.
the reattachment.
This is
If
the
you
reattachment. I like it.
reattachment. Thank you for
Here,
just going along with the word.
do you want to touch screens?
The screen.
Bro, that was so cute. That was mad cute.
Oh, I miss you, man. I missed you so
I miss
much.
you, bro.
So when you last left off, when I moved to California, I was still doing a lot of I did a lot of guitar stuff. Like you said, I played my sister's drum kit a lot. As you can imagine, family didn't really take too kindly to the noise, so I would spend my time playing my guitar and stuff too. I got big into theater, did improv over there, um, and then I started a band, or I didn't start. I guess I kind of started the band. This guy named Jordan, who was a guitarist with me out in San Diego, and he and I were like pretty much the only people. Like we were we were passing each other on the quad like randomly. I was like listening to music. You remember high school, Jensen, and
Yeah.
especially in California times, didn't know a soul in the world. I was just like head down, walking forward, get me to my
Yeah.
car, go home. And I hear this kid. He runs up to me, full stop, goes, "Hey, I like your shirt." I look down. I'm wearing a Pierce the Veil shirt. He's wearing a Sleeping with Sirens shirt. And he's like, "What's
Nice.
your number?" Any other situation, I'd be like, just
Gotta
five, five, five,
go.
five, 42. Have a nice day. Bye bye. But I was just like, you know what? I need friends. And he was like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to start a band. I play guitar. And I was like, dude, I play drums. I think we have a similar taste in music. So we
Yeah.
started that up. And he was like, yo, I know someone who's interested in playing bass. And our
Mm-hmm.
friend John, we call him Jono.
Jono?
Jono.
I like Jono.
No,
It's a nice name.
not Jono, not Jono. John Bay. Jesus. There were a lot of Johns in
We can
my
call him
life.
Jono. I'm gonna start calling my dad Jono. His name's John.
Hey, Jono. How is John doing?
You know, I'd say, love you, dad. He's like, fuck you.
Little John.
True John fashion.
True John fashion. So John Bay joined, and he was like, "Yeah, I think my stepdad's got a bass in the garage. Like, I've always wanted to learn bass, kind of." And so he like spent a week overnight just like learning like how to play with his fingers because even though he had just started learning to play bass, he was like, "I like the sound of fingers better than like with a pick." So I was like, I really appreciate that. Like for this high school band, you're just gonna take up this really like strong passion for like the intricacies of bass that most people don't think of until they're like 35 or some shit.
Yeah.
And like real or real jazz music snobs or something
Yeah,
like that.
because I feel like a lot of people in like heavy metal bands or like hard rock bands, they use picks. They're less
Mhm.
inclined to like finger pick. That's more jazzy, right?
Right, and it's,
Yeah.
especially with like the heavier music you play, like it's harder to do the rhythms with your fingers and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And so I was like really impressed that he was like taking the instrument up and like he was like, I want to do it the right way.
Hmm.
And two, just that he was like, we were playing like post-hardcore type stuff, so he was like, he was getting a bit of a work in.
Yeah.
Um, and so then we all knew someone in high school. We were like, hey, there was the rumor going around among one of our friends. They were like, we know the lead guitarist of Pierce the Veil's sister,
Oh.
and she is interested in joining our band.
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah. So
That's so
RA,
cool. Like Vic
that
Fuentes' sister.
no, Tony
Oh,
Perry's sister.
got it. Okay. Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
so Tony, I got to meet him a couple of times. I got to hang out with the band like at like the debut
Yeah.
of the Misadventures album in Vegas. I got to be backstage and like watch side stage for the whole show. It was
That's so
fucking
cool.
amazing. I got to meet
That's
them all.
so
They're
cool.
super nice. I have to talk about that every time I talk
Was
about
that
this
the
because
album
it's
where like the soul is like coming out of the house or whatever?
no, that was Collide with the
Okay.
Sky. This is the one.
That's the last
Last one you
album I
heard,
listened to. Yeah, yeah.
dude.
It's been a minute.
Misadventures was like I like even for people that aren't like a fan of that music, I'd say there's like something in it for everyone. It's like really
Yeah.
catchy. It's like just like it's not as like heavy as their old stuff was, but at the same time it gets heavier than it
Yeah.
was. It
I
was
definitely fell out of the scene a little bit. I do like
oh
this
yeah, no,
new
I know.
generation of like Bring Me the Horizon where they're like merging their style with like pop.
Hmm.
Really like that. Like Die For You, their newest single or whatever.
That
Really,
fucking
yeah,
slapped.
love that.
Um,
Um,
so I was in RA. That was the name of the band. It was
okay.
because we kept trying to type sure, SURE into
Yeah.
the chat, and
I'm looking at
I
my
guess
keyboard right now trying to follow.
trying to yeah. So we were like we just kept people kept fucking up and sending RA as opposed to sure, and I think it was like Swedish for us or something like that, and so we were
That's
like,
dope.
oh, that's so cute, and it's a typo, and then it was also like something else for whale, I think,
Okay. Okay.
and I don't know. My improv brain sometimes takes over in terms of like remembering stories, and it like
Yeah,
injects jokes that weren't really
you got to.
there.
It makes them
And
more
I'm
interesting.
thank you. And so I'm trying to remember. I think there might have been like a third language that it translated to whale. And I was like, oh, since we're in San Diego, the whale's vagina, it makes sense. It's perfect. So it was like I feel like
Hang
I
on,
feel like
you missed
all
me. You missed me. Wales vagina?
you haven't seen Anchorman?
It's been a minute. I've seen it
Oh,
once. It was a very long time ago. I'm so sorry.
oh no, you're good. Allow me to recount the scene for you. It's
Okay.
they're in the car,
Uh,
at a lookout point, they're looking over the magical city of San Diego,
uh,
and I think he's like, what does it mean? And then the girl that he's with is like, I think it means Saint Diego, and he's like, no, I think the Spanish said it means a whale's vagina, but we'll never know.
uh,
So I just thought it was fitting. And
honestly,
again, like this could just be entirely my improv inclined brain just like
yeah.
really being like punch up the story. Everything's got to be funny in your life.
I don't think I'm gonna watch Anchorman again because I just want to remember that story exactly how you told it. Makes it so much better.
You know what? That is probably the first and only time I'll ever be placed higher than Will Ferrell in terms of being funny. But that
You'll
really.
always beat him in my book. I don't even like,
Aw.
except for in the other guys. I really like that movie. He's really good in the other guys. You did a monologue from the other guys, like the first day
Mhm.
of like drama one or whatever. I think that's why I ended up liking you. I'm not sure. Can't remember.
That's why Miss Brown wanted me to be on improv.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I think I went in like just like talking to her after class for some reason because she was like, hey, like come talk to me for a second, and I thought that she was gonna just be like, you should audition for the show or something like that, and
yeah,
she goes, you should audition for improv,
yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
okay. Do I still see fucking videos from Garrett Hill?
Yeah. I had him on. He was actually not the last guest, but the one before. Actually, his episode went live
No
today. Yeah, his episode went live today.
continuity.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
We talked about you, I
Oh
think briefly. Maybe.
no
I don't know.
way.
Don't quote me. My
Oh
memory's
no,
bad. You
I
know.
won't get my heart broken if I rewatch and I don't hear my name. But just
We did
knowing,
talk about you, but we are like, that kid sucked.
even if it was like honestly, that's constructive criticism to me. You know, it means
Yeah,
more to me what people say behind my back than what they say to my face. Because it's
100%.
what people won't tell you. It's the truth.
Right? Yeah, exactly. No, but we had nothing but good things to say about you if we talked about you. I
Ooh.
don't even remember. But yeah, had him on just the other day. We talked about like him being in Chicago, and you're in Chicago, right?
Mhm.
Why aren't you guys like hanging out? That's beside the point.
Social anxiety, if I'm
Fair
being
enough.
honest.
Fair enough. Okay, so RA, you made a
So
band called
yeah,
RA.
we were in RA.
Hmm.
We played one show. We played a couple of shows, but the first show that we played was at a theater called Soma San Diego, and the clips are still up on YouTube. It's one of my like the live set that's been recorded that I'm the most proud of because like all of those are drums that like I meticulously wrote out with Jordan, the guitarist, for like months beforehand. Like he'd come over like every day after school, and we just like I don't know. It was just like what you imagine the songwriting process to be,
Yeah,
without like going too in depth into like what the songwriting process is. Also negating the fact that we didn't have a bassist or vocalist at the time.
right.
Um, but it was just us, just like hamming out like the bare bones of the song, and it was just really fun. And then we like got together with the rest of the band. They wrote their parts along our parts, and then we played our first show at Soma, which is like a kind of locally famous San Diego music venue. Like Blink 182 got their start playing at Soma.
Very cool.
Pierce the Veil got their start playing at Soma.
Blink 182
Um,
is a crazy live show. I've never been super into them, but I saw them live once. I just moshed with a bunch of like drunk men that punched me and beat me and pushed me. It was awesome.
I saw them with when they opened, or no, when A Day to Remember opened for them.
Oh, cool.
I
Yeah.
actually got tickets from Tom DeLonge.
That's the singer, right? That's the main
It's
dude.
the old
Yeah.
singer. I
Yeah.
know that sounds like a bullshit story. It was a birthday present from my mom because some kid that I knew through theater,
Hmm.
it's San Diego. They were from San
Right.
Diego. His mom worked with his company, like to the Stars Media or whatever, like
Hmm.
that, and had gotten him like a signed guitar from like all of them before like Blink had like first broken up.
Yeah.
And like he had it on his wall when he showed me, and I was like, "Oh, that's so fucking cool!" And like I was telling my mom casually about that, and she was like, "Oh, okay." And so when I graduated high school, she contacted his mom and was like, "Hey," like not knowing that Blink had like broken up, gotten back
Right.
together, kicked Tom DeLonge out, gotten a new singer, was like, "Hey, you still work with that Blink guy, right? Can you get me tickets?" And somehow he still has fucking pull.
Bro, sometimes all it takes in life is a cold email. Like literally all it takes sometimes in life is a
Mm-hmm.
cold email.
And like I'm pretty sure my tickets said from Tom DeLonge on them.
That's sick. Did you
Like
keep them or did you use them and then they're gone?
you know what? This is another case of my improv memory coming back to haunt
Yeah,
me because I definitely would have kept them if they said from Tom DeLonge on them. Maybe it
gotcha.
was like no, when I was talking to them and asking for like the reservation, I was like, it might be under
Gotcha.
Tom DeLonge, and they were
So
just like, oh, okay,
the drummer is like doing I don't mean to distract, but like who's the drummer for Blink 182?
Travis Barker, my
Travis, he's
hero,
doing really big things right now with MGK actually. Are you
dude.
do you like MGK?
Oh yeah,
Cool.
dude.
Okay.
That when that album that they did together dropped,
Yeah.
I was super stoked because I'm a massive Travis Barker fiend. I'll
Yeah.
listen to anything that he's a part of.
And he's like super diversified right now within like the community. Like he's working on so many different projects, you know?
And like so many like different like subgenres of rap
Yeah.
too. Like he worked with Suicide Boys and made like a I don't even know what to call the genre. It's screaming over just that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I still loved it. I mean, I hated it, but I still
Right.
loved it because it was Travis Barker.
So is he doing like production then, or is he
He's
strictly
do,
doing drumming?
he's doing production and he's doing
Okay.
drumming. He did live drums on that too.
Is that something you're interested in doing eventually, like production as well, or maybe you already are?
So
I don't mean to distract. I know we have a long story here.
You're good. You're good. And I finished the end of the San
Okay.
Diego Chronicles. Pretty
Okay, cool.
much, Tony Perry was at that first show,
Nice.
and like said you guys were a lot better than we thought you guys would be.
Hey, that's good.
And I
That's
was
like,
like, that's fucking like that is you. That is better than anything he could have said
wasn't his
because if you said
sister in that show?
yeah,
Or, hey sis, you're a lot better than I thought you were.
it's like a same mom different dads type situation, but they still grew up
Gotcha.
for like a majority of
Okay.
the time together.
Gotcha.
But it's like they have a relationship, but it's not like a super strong one, I don't think.
Right.
But it's not like
Gotcha.
a I don't want to be like airing out family drama here. It's not like it's a negative fucking relationship. Like I have hung out with them and they're like really tight, and like I bet it's only gotten better over time. No. Where's the rope? Where's the rope? I'm getting out of this fucking grave, motherfucker. Let's see if I can do some cool. I'm getting out of this fucking.
Oh, nice. That reminds me of I took a physical comedy class when I like through my college, William and Mary, and it was during the Zoom phase. So we had to
Ah,
use like our boxes for like physical comedy. It changed the game, man. It was so, and what you did just reminded me of it. Like we would like pull ourselves up by like the rim and everything. Yeah, super cool.
I'm about to show you something real cool. Ready
Oh,
for
let's
this
see
shit?
it. Let's see it. What are you doing? Sheesh. Now this is pod racing.
This is why I missed you so much, because for my whole life I've been the one making the Star Wars references and then making
Bro,
another Star Wars reference and no one gets
did
them.
you know this? Again, we're gonna get sidetracked. That's fine. Just expect it. Did you
This can just be
know?
the tangent episode.
So I dated a girl named Brenna. I don't know if you at all kept up with that at all. We dated about 3 years. I had never kept up with Star Wars before her. And one day she said, you know what? I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm gonna make you watch Star Wars. So we watched it from start to finish. We watched all of Star Wars. And dude, I fell in love with it. I reference it all the time now. I'm like a Star Wars stan, dude. So if nothing else came from that relationship, it's that I discovered Star Wars, man. You
Dude,
know?
I am that's like the same relationship that I have with my girlfriend, but
Yeah.
flipped. Because I mean, like that's the more common thing is like the girl in the relationship has never seen Star Wars, and it's
Right.
like then the dude goes, "What, you never seen Star Wars?" And then they show the girlfriend Star Wars, and they're like, "It was Star
Yeah.
Wars," and they're like, "No,
Yeah.
it's a masterpiece.
You just don't get it.
You just don't get it. For the time, it was so impressive. Look at this 45-minute behind the scenes documentary of how cool it was to make the stuff." And she's more impressed by that than she is the actual movie. Which, you know what? To be fair, that's fucking impressive to
Yeah.
watch that shit and see like how it was done, and especially like I think because obviously for me like I grew up on that shit. Like
Right.
when I'd go to school and they'd be like, "Who's your hero?" I wouldn't write my daddy. I'd write Luke Skywalker.
Luke, interesting. I'm a big Anakin guy. Maybe it's just I have like that dark side. I just like Anakin, bro. I'm a big Anakin stan.
You stay away from the kids,
The
the
sand. What
younglings.
does he say?
Sand. Oh fuck! I hate
What does he say?
sand. It's coarse and rough and gets everywhere. You couldn't tell
100%.
I minored in voice acting in college.
Nice. Did you really?
I
Actually?
did. Yeah.
Nice. That's so cool. Like specifically voice acting.
Specifically minor in voice acting.
That's super dope. That's super
Specifically
dope.
majored in radio because the radio building was the only place that offered voice acting classes. So I only got a radio
Wait,
major to get a voice acting minor.
second. Wait. I'm sorry. I thought like like you're doing everything you're doing in music just completely on your own. Like it wasn't ever like school. I thought like okay.
That's a fun part of the story that we're gonna get to in
Okay.
Act Two, I guess.
Don't take it wrong. I'm super impressed because you've kept music so like integral without like it being school. I'm impressed by that more so than anything. But we can go there if you want right
Yeah.
now.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I want to touch on Chivalry's Not Dead because
Yeah. Go there first.
if anything, if any of the guys watch this, I want them to know that I miss them and love them.
John.
John, Jake, James, and Sean. I'm looking right into the cameras. I'm saying
who
all
was
their
like the
names.
main singer? Was that Jake?
That was Jake. Yeah.
Excellent. I was friends with him in high school a little bit. He
Yeah,
talked, yeah, he flew like planes and stuff, or he wanted to. I remember he
yeah.
talked about
He
that.
worked with planes and stuff.
Nice.
He's kept in contact with me a lot. He actually came out and visited me in Chicago a bit. He's doing
Very cool.
some beat production
Yeah,
actually.
that seems
Him
like
and
in his vertical, you know.
him and I hopped on a song together.
Okay.
I don't know if he's still got the bounce of that, but I'll see if I can hunt that down.
Yeah, if you can find it, send it to me. I won't leak it. I don't know if it's released or anything, but I would love to hear it.
No, I don't think he would have released it. I don't think it was all that good on either
Gotcha.
of ours part. It was a party weekend joke song that we made
Nice.
basically.
Nice.
I was more proud of my verses than anything, and that's just because I think bad rap is funny.
My friend actually, he's gonna be on Thursday's episode. He went platinum in like a different country, from a joke song called Toe Bamba, which is like Mo Bamba but about toes. And it went platinum in like it. This isn't the country, but like in Hungary, I think it might even be Hungary. I'm not sure. So
Yeah,
like joke songs, somebody likes them. A lot of people like them. I mean, look at like Ninja Sex Party or like uh
the
I
fact that
don't,
you know Ninja Sex Party. Oh well,
yeah,
yeah, of course you know Ninja Sex Party. You're
of
a
course
Game
I do.
Grumps guy.
Game Grumps guys. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude.
Love Game Grumps.
Ooh.
Okay, so Chivalry's not dead.
Chivalry's not dead. So
Yeah.
about couple months after I finished like playing some shows with RA and stuff, I was gonna head out to college, and John, the guitarist from Chivalry's Not Dead, basically my adoptive older brother of sorts.
Yeah.
He was my I was his protege. He was my mentor. We
100%.
always referred to it as. And he hits me up and he's like, "Hey, we're having some issues with our drummer. We don't want him anymore." And I brought it up to the guys and I was like, "How about Jensen?" And they were like, "Why not Jensen?" And so, how about Jensen? And I said yes to Jensen.
And you lived in California at this point, right?
Yeah, I lived in California at the time, and I was still
Okay.
looking at colleges all around. I ended up settling on a college in Chicago. I went to Columbia College, Chicago, and I went there specifically because they had a program, a major that I started with called Contemporary Urban Popular Music.
Okay.
They called it the CUPS program.
The cups program.
The CUPS program.
What'd you study? Cups.
I was
Like
CUPS.
you looked at cups, like
Like that shit, you know?
yeah.
So I was there, and I should have known this was like a red flag. Like when I first got there, that I shouldn't have gone there for like music, you know.
Hmm.
And when we were asking like, you know, what are like the genres that are like taught in the contemporary popular music, they're like, oh, we've got soul, we've got R&B, and I'm like, okay, they got, yeah, I think we got some alternative rock. And I was
No
like, anything
jazz?
like, oh well, they had jazz,
Okay,
yeah, but
okay,
there was no
okay.
way in hell I was gonna enjoy it. Well, I'm actually gonna touch on that in another second.
Okay,
My college experience with music was a fucking educational whirlwind, one might say. I
okay.
definitely didn't handle it as well as I probably should have, and no, probably should have. I definitely handled it as well as I could have.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
going to
a lot of
say.
these things happen in life so that we can like learn, adjust our course, and move forward in the direction we're supposed to. So I firmly believe that whatever happened, it might have been bad at the time, but it put you where you're supposed to be right now. That's what I
Yeah,
always say anyway, for me.
I think you know, I wholeheartedly agree with that, and I think
Yeah.
that there is. I don't think there is a life story that can be told without that lesson being
Yeah.
applicable. You know, like
100%.
I think everyone, you know, it's like those time travel stories. You know, if you go back in time and you correct one thing, like if you,
Where are we going with this, Jensen? Where are we
I don't know,
going?
man, I almost referenced that Family Guy episode where Brian stopped 9/11 and then the world was worse, so he had to go back in time to correct 9/11. So I think by acknowledging the fact that that's not a good direction to go is saving face enough to know that we don't condone 9/11 on this podcast.
Moving on.
Moving on. I'm
I'm
so
gonna let you.
sorry. You know what? You can cut that part out if this is
I
cuttable.
don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Back to you.
Back to Jensen. Alrighty, where was I?
Whoa, you have a good radio voice.
Oh, thank you very much. That's why I
Yeah.
majored in radio. I
I
heard
thought,
that a lot, and I
yeah,
was like, oh, I've heard that a couple of times in my life, and I
yeah,
don't know where to go now, so I'm going to head down the radio route.
yeah. No, it's
Even though,
really
even though
good.
no one on the radio talks like that anymore, and it's so depressing. Could you imagine, like put it into context of like the music that surrounds like current radio announcers and stuff? Like what, what's a popular song right now?
I mean, they'll just be like, "Hey, and we're gonna listen to Kiss Me More from Doja Cat. Enjoy."
Yeah.
Boop. Oh wait, we can't sing.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, it'll get
um,
taken down or whatever.
copyright law. This
Yeah,
is
exactly.
legally different than the song we
But
are referencing.
I think you make a good point. I think like so many people are like we're moving towards such a place of like authenticity that like we're losing like a lot of those like niche things that like make things memorable for that reason. Like radio, like when you think of old radio, you think of that like, and today we're gonna be listening to, like that kind of thing, right?
Up next is Johnny on the Top with Johnny on the Spot and the Bebop Boopers.
Did you watch The Legend of Korra
I
at all?
hadn't.
Okay, so then you won't get it. But there's like there's these like fighting games in The Legend of Korra where they like play a sport, and there's like a sports broadcaster,
Uh
and
huh.
it's like that typical sports broadcaster that you think of like from the early days, and it's
Mm.
just like I love those sounds, but it's like nobody
Yeah.
really does that anymore. It's just like people talking now. So
Yeah. I think a lot of that has to do with like the whole. Oh my god! I feel like I'm gonna like artificially age myself. I don't really like believe in these positions, but there's like people that are like, oh, these programs are built because we have shorter attention spans. We can only pay
yeah,
attention for 2 seconds. So if people are talking super fast, they're not going to be able to pay attention and they're going to lose interest and flip the channel.
yeah, that's
So you
probably true.
gotta talk slower.
But I feel like there's a shock factor when like people use that. Like there's this one dude, especially in comedy, I don't know his name, but he like just literally will find like a clip of like two people beating each other with a baseball bat like in the hood or whatever, and then
Mhm.
he'll like he'll commentate it as if he was like a sports person, but he like tries to live react to it. He's like, oh my god, he's got a baseball bat. What's he gonna do with it? And it's like the
Oh dear, and
funniest.
he's pulled out the 2x4 from the nearby garbage bin. Oh, and
Yeah,
he's beating him repeatedly. Oh, and that is a TKO. Yes, no, that man is. Oh, he is dead. He is
yeah.
stealing his wallet, and we have a victor, ladies and gentlemen. The hood champion is
Yeah.
this
It's
gentleman. Oh, he's running towards the camera. Turn it off! Run, run!
pretty much. And like he just covers everything from like, trouble in the hood, or even like stuff like there's this girl roller skating, and she like does a complete split while she's roller skating and goes under like these foot tall like limbo bars
I think I've
while
seen
she's
that.
yeah, and he
I
like
thought that was
commentates.
CGI.
No, and he commentates over it, and it's just so funny. It's like I think there's so much opportunity for like really niche markets to like combine there. It's like if you were to do something like improv with a drum set, that's very like Bo
Have
Burnham like.
Have you seen those people? I God, I wish you were like Joe Rogan level already and we were on your private jet so I could be like, Jamie, pull that video up.
I
Um,
don't have a Jamie, unfortunately. I'll get one though.
I'll be your Jamie, dude. Shit.
I'll get my dad in here. Hey, come navigate the internet for me.
Oh my god, what an amazing like dynamic that would be for a podcast.
Cheers,
Hey,
Gabby. He's like typing, trying to pull
Dad,
things
pull
up.
that video up. What video do you fucking mean?
I
What
think
website?
it's interesting how like different people perceive different people, because when I think of my dad, I think of like this old like decrepit like quiet, and you're like describing him as if he literally just got out of Vietnam.
To me, it's all vocal impression, I
Yeah,
like it's been forever since I've seen him, but I just remember
yeah.
his voice was very like this. It was gruff and
That's
aggressive.
what a pack of cigarettes will do to you every day.
I still remember, I think it was before homecoming or something like that. He took
Mhm.
you and me or something like that, and we were like all sitting in the car outside of Arby's, and he was smoking, and I think he made a comment about like how it's illegal to smoke with kids in the car, and he was like, so I rolled the window down. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I was like, I mean, fair. Like, I don't want to stop him.
Yeah, no, he actually quit for a bit. He quit for like a year, and then he's like, I'm gonna die in like 10 years anyway. I may as well keep smoking. So he picked him back up.
Yeah.
So, okay, so chivalry is not dead.
Chivalry is not dead. Was currently, at the time, not dead.
Uh-huh.
So John hit me up and he was like, "Hey, I know you're going to college in Chicago, but you're already in California, so it'll be a lot closer. Would you like to join the band?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'd like to join
Be
the
a
band."
lot close. Do they live in California?
No. Just because I was in California already, Chicago is closer to Virginia than
Got
California.
it.
Just
Okay.
my
Got it.
what I was thinking. I mean, like
Gotcha.
planes is still planes. Flights is still money. So they were just like, you could fly out for shows. John wrote all the music, so he'd send over songs and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I'd be like, "It's fucking amazing. Yes,
Yeah.
when can I get over there and play this?" And
Did he
so
write the drumming too, or did he just literally write like the bones of it and like
he started by just writing the guitars,
gotcha.
and then I think a couple of months into me. No, I think it was like right as I had joined the band, he was getting the hang of like programming his own drums. And he was like,
Gotcha.
"This isn't what I want you to play. This is just like placeholder stuff. Like you
It's just
write your own
a rhythm,
stuff."
a tempo,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay.
Um, and so I went. I went out there like in the summer before I went to college for like my freshman year of college, and we did like that photo shoot that I was talking about
Yeah.
in the hotel. You see, we're in medias resting this.
Did
We
you have
started at the
a
beginning.
teal hair at that point?
I did. That was when I had my
See, what's
blueberry
so
baby hair.
weird is like I know all of these things because of social media, but I don't
Mhm.
know all of these things. It's a really weird place in which we exist as humans where like you can know everything about a person and simultaneously know nothing, right?
Right?
It's really weird because I know you had teal hair. I know where you did this photo shoot basically. I know like when you did it because it made sense to me. I was like, yeah, he did it right before he went to college. Like I know these things, but it's like I'm missing everything at the low level. Like I just know the
Yeah.
high level. So
Well, because I mean, like, especially to you, it's confusing because I disappeared to California, and then all of a sudden, right before I go to college in Chicago, I randomly appear in Virginia with teal
yeah,
hair in an
I'm
abandoned
like,
hotel.
does this guy have a time turner or whatever? Like Hermione over here, bro. You're like,
Well, shit. Keep it on the wall or anything. Um, no, I like it was a weird, fun time. Like it was like a low budget like rock star life because I was flying from California to Virginia for photo shoots and band practices. And then I'd fly back to California and I was going to go to college in downtown Chicago. I was like, "Oh, I'm living the fucking life here." Um, honestly, it was like a great fucking time.
yeah.
So then oh yes, I'm skipping a very, very detrimental part of the story. We recorded an album.
Okay.
Do you know the band My Enemies and I?
No.
So they're a band from Virginia. They got signed to, I think, Fearless Records.
That's
Um,
a big one. That's a
that's
big
a
one.
pretty real fucking big one. So they were signed like while we were recording with their guitarist. We
Nice.
lived in his house for a week, and he recorded our album,
That's tough.
half of our album.
Okay.
We only got the instrumentation done. We were going to come back and do the vocals like after the year had broke because it was like in the summertime. I was going to go back to college.
Right.
We're going to do the winter break. We'd planned a tour during the winter, and then after the tour, we were going to come back and do the vocals or something like that. And so we didn't really have like any stems or anything sent to us from that, but we'd still paid him for the time that he'd worked,
Right.
obviously, because he did a fucking amazing job.
Was he just like the mixer and master and all that?
Well, he was programming all the drums. John came
Okay.
to him with the guitar parts, and he was like, "All right, play that part for me." And John was still working on the time of getting like record because like, do you know how hard it is to record guitar to a click?
No. Well, because it's like it's almost like you either need it completely raw or you need it like completely digital because you can't like
Mhm.
chop it up well. You almost have to just play the note, chop it, and then like put it in that order, right?
Right.
Okay.
But if you chop it up like that much with guitars, it sounds artificial.
Right.
So you have to play it as on time as humanly possible to that click track, as if you were a computer.
Gotcha.
And so he had just been in the mindset of write these ideas and record them, not to a click track because you don't not everyone writes to a click, you know, not
Is
not
that just like
everyone.
the metronome when you say the click track?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
The click track is the one that like counts you in and like keeps you on time while you're
Okay.
recording.
Gotcha.
And so he would just like, you know, turn on voice memo, play the riff that he just wrote, and then, you know, they'd work on that. But when it came time to get into the studio and you play it up to a click track, it's really, really hard to get the the specificities of all the guitar parts like
Yeah.
on time for like computer recording and stuff like that.
Right.
So like John would show him how to play the part, and then he'd play it because, you know, it was his place, his guitars.
Right.
He knew how to do it. He's a fucking professional signer of fucking Fearless Records. He knows how to do this shit.
Yeah.
So he recorded, like Reed did all the guitars, programmed all my drums, but that took like a week because it was like a full length album that we were doing.
You
And so
recorded a full length album or 6 songs from it in a week?
yeah,
That's insane.
because we weren't doing live drums. We were
Yeah.
doing just like strictly
Like digital
yeah,
or
programming the drums.
okay.
But I was like right over his shoulder the whole time. And he was like, "How do you think this part should go?" And I was like, he was like, run that back.
Sounds to me like it needs more cowbell.
I tried that, and he was like, "Dude, what the fuck is this metal, man? The Warped Tour scene's gonna eat you alive if you put a cowbell in there." And I was like, "Yeehaw, motherfucker!"
I just remember the double bass pedal.
Did you ever listen to? Do you know Jared Alonji?
No.
So he is. I feel like you'd really appreciate his humor. He's like, he made jokes about like the bands in the like the Warped Tour era and stuff like that. And he also made a like a joke album of like tropes from all like the Warped Tour bands like made into songs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So he had one making fun of Memphis Mayfire called "The Swimmer," and there's this one part where it's like it's a breakdown. It says, "Now we need more cowbell," and like a deep like low scream, you know. And then
Yeah.
they do this cowbell, and it goes. So it starts off just going like. And it's like, okay, a human can play that, and then the cowbell
Right.
literally goes. Like glitches out into oblivion, and it's like, okay.
Bro, there's so many tropes of like that era that stick with me. Like even when I'm playing like Warzone or whatever, I'll be like, "Oh my God, they're everywhere!" Like from The Devil Wears Prada, you know?
Dude, they released a sequel to that.
I never listened to it.
I didn't either.
But no, I remember like Crabcore and all that, where they would stand at like a full, you know?
Dude, Attack is back. You know that, right?
Yeah, my friend told me. He's listening to them and like seeing them and stuff like that.
Not that bad.
I just remember that one song they had. I don't know what that means, but I
Oh,
just know that one song.
I know exactly what you mean.
Do you actually?
Ow!
Yeah.
That's Stickly, my dude. The
Bro, Stick
Crabcore national
Stickly.
anthem.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy. Bro, I'm smiling so much right now. I'm getting cheekbone pains or whatever.
That's my goal. If you haven't left an encounter with me and your cheeks don't hurt, I feel like I haven't
Yeah.
done my job as like someone you know.
It certainly helps to have not seen you in so long too.
Yeah.
Now, on the topic of post-hardcore, is that ampersand behind you? Is that Of Mice and Men? Is that a reference?
Yes, it is
He
actually.
pointed the
So
wrong way.
can you tell I've had a little bit of the sauce? So when I went, oh, my girlfriend Velcroed one on the wall.
Nice.
So when I went to high school in California, I had a friend named Steven, and he wasn't very well liked by a lot of the other students. I'm not sure why. He kind of butted heads with them. But I like, you know, I got along with people. And I got him into Avenged Sevenfold and stuff like that. And I got him into like a lot of, you know, like alternative, like metalcore music and stuff like that. Cause he grew up like listening to Slayer and, not Slayer. Whoever did Disturbed.
Oh yeah. I loved it. I still listen to Disturbed sometimes when I go into the gym. Like their that album with like the fiery dude and he's like walking through the fire. I love that album. So good.
Yeah. Is that the one that that has Sound of Silence on it?
I don't know, but I really like, for me it's that one song where it's like The world we live, that one, I can't
Mhm.
sing it too much because I don't want it to get taken down, but like the one where
Oh,
it's like he's a superhero, he's flying, he's like killing the capitalists or whatever. You know
yeah,
the one? Yeah, it's
yeah.
so metal, so metal.
But their cover of Sound of Silence, my mom loves and listens to regularly all
Really?
the time. Yeah.
Your mom's like a heart, like a metal fan? Let's go.
So it's not like a metal cover. He's just got like an amazing fucking like deep voice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like I highly recommend you listen to that
Okay.
once like there's the
I'm
monetization bots off.
I'm gonna write that down. Sound of Silence cover. Is that right?
Yeah, by Disturbed.
Okay. Absolutely.
And I think it's I'm pretty sure it's the album that you're talking about, or it has like a
Yeah.
fiery ash man
I'm pretty sure all
crawling
their
out of the
albums have
ground.
a fiery something or another.
It's Disturbed. It comes with the name. If it's not a fiery ash man, it's like a suture being whatever.
Bro, he's
Um,
got those piercings, like they're
oh
so
yeah,
they're so sick. I don't even know like
it's got the teeth a mile wide.
I don't know like the ergonomics of it, bro. It's like how do you eat? Doesn't matter.
He doesn't. He
Um
just intravenous, just like this is the sacrifices of being a rock star.
We interrupt this program to bring to you our sponsors. Thank you, Monster Energy, for sponsoring this episode. For 0 sugar and 10 calories, you get a lot of good energy that keeps you going throughout the day. Let me tell you, I have about 3 of these a day. We don't recommend having 3 of these a day. I personally do. As somebody that works 8 hours a day in front of the computer and then has to go box for 3 hours, it's good to have a nice little pick me up. So we recommend Monster Energy as your energy drink of choice. Thank you, and back to the program. Yeah.
Um,
Okay,
so
so
when I was in San Diego, the guy Steven, I was friends with him. I got him into all the metalcore stuff.
yep,
And then like right before I graduated, he like made this in his workshop.
he made it. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
he like made it like sawed it off with like a handsaw, and then on the back he hand drew all of these like
That's
symbols
so
and
sick.
lyrics to like songs that I had gotten him into. Like we got "I Will Never Find Another You" from Of Mice and Men.
Bro,
Um,
that guy's a
uh,
real one. What was his
he
name?
Steven.
Shout out to Steven. That's a good
Seriously,
guy.
shout out to Steven. What a guy. We've got
He could
I
sell
See
those on Etsy
Stars.
too.
Dude, fucking
It's
seriously.
yeah, they're so good.
Last I heard of him, he was in New York doing acting stuff.
Oh,
He was in, like a
cool.
lot of the plays with me and stuff
Is
like that.
everybody in San Diego an actor or like a singer or something?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. When I got to San Diego, I really didn't want to make any friends, and the only
Yeah,
people who will be your like the only people who are going to become your friends when you're in that mindset are like musicians or actors because they're
yeah,
kind of in the same mindset too, and they're like,
right.
I recognize what you're going through. Join me and the
Yeah.
rest of the weirdos and listen to Pierce the Veil.
You got that fellow feeling or whatever.
Exactly, like
Yeah.
the herd of outcasts or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
that kind of thing.
100%. Okay, so that's cool. Shout out to Steven. Shout out to Steven.
Okay, Steven, put the wall
Um,
decoration back up.
and shout out to your girlfriend for Velcroing it. That's super
Yeah,
clutch. Okay, so you went to this guy's house and recorded an album.
yeah. We recorded the album, and we were gonna come back, do vocals. I went off to college. I came back. We did some rehearsals, and then we were gonna do a tour from Virginia up to New York
Right.
and all the way down and end it in Philadelphia.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You said we were
I
going to, and then you like looked off into space for a bit.
sorry.
I
No,
was like,
I was
I was
that was
expecting something
misleading.
tragic to happen. I was like, it
No, no,
didn't
no.
happen? What happened?
No, it happened. We went. Um, so it was a we had a 10-ton, no 6-ton 10-passenger van.
Okay.
It was like a U-Haul. We called it the Green Machine.
The green machine.
The
I like
Green
it.
Machine. It was white. It was a white van, but we called it the Green
Okay.
Machine for obvious reasons.
Oh,
Um,
because it made money.
God. Yes, exactly, because it's what we were making money with.
Yes.
Good save. I'm so cringy. Uh, so we we did the tour. Tour went splendidly. It was my first time ever driving in snow.
You drove it. You drove
I
the Green
we,
Machine.
we all took turns driving the Green
Okay.
Machine, because long hours that you got to pull. Like
Yeah.
it's only fair if everybody in the band that has a driver's license is like able to pull their
I don't think I
shifts.
could. I don't think I could literally drive like a utility truck like that. I think something terrible would happen. Like I'm not good with like any kind of luggage
You ready
on a
for
vehicle.
nightmare scenario right now?
Yeah.
Picture this: New York City. You've never driven a utility truck like this in your entire goddamn life. You have the lives of yourself and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other people on your hands. No, 4 other people because I counted myself. On your hands.
Also yourself, your
Also,
life.
also myself. Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. That's revealing. Um, uh, on top of all those lives that are very valuable in the cabin of the car, you have a U-Haul connection thing connected to the back of your car full of all the expensive band equipment. You've never driven a car and hauled anything in your life. You're on the highway in New York and it's snowing. And you've
Bro.
never driven in snow in your entire goddamn life because you learned to drive in California, baby. How you doing?
Bro, I'm surprised you didn't wreck. I'm surprised you didn't, or at least get like a fender bender of some kind.
No, it's a
Nothing.
scratch.
Nice.
I
I'm
just kept
impressed.
telling myself the whole time this story is going to be so much better if you don't fuck it up.
I honestly think it would be better if you had. I think honestly for the plot, you should have done something mischievous.
Yeah, it was definitely missing something in that second act. Like I definitely needed, some antagonistic force to come
Yeah,
into, be it the traffic
yeah,
cops being like, "Hey, your tags are out of."
yeah.
That's not a New York accent.
It's
Hey,
close enough.
fucker,
Immediately cusses makes it New York accent.
dude. I work customer. This headset that I have right now is the exact headset that I use currently for customer service, and I work with so many clients from New York. Fuck New York and fuck New Jersey. And if you're from New York or New Jersey, I'm talking directly to you, politely but aggressively. Go fuck yourself right back, because that's the energy you're giving to me. That's what your whole state has radiated to me. From Jensen Cameron.
Bro, I was gonna say you do be looking like a sales representative with that headset. It's such like a sales representative headset, bro.
I do real estate photography.
Heck yeah, dude.
I
I
just,
mean,
I just
I'm a software engineer by day, but like boxer by night. So you're a drummer, I'm a boxer, right? That's
yeah,
all that matters.
that's all that
That's
matters.
what I say.
We've got our Bruce Wayne lives and our Batman lives.
Heck yeah, dude. 100%. Okay. So I wanted to ask, how did it feel? It must have made you feel like everything you'd done up until this point in your life had been worth it because you were touring. Is that true?
Well,
I mean, you're
we did that.
touring.
We did that one tour. It was a week-long tour. We got back, and a week later we broke up because
You,
the tour was so horrendous. We
you,
lost a bunch of money on that tour. The majority of the money that we got from the tour, we either didn't get paid from the venues, or if we did get paid from the venues, that money went to tolls.
hang on, you did that tour in a week?
Yeah,
Did you do a show every night?
yeah,
Wow.
it was fun. I'm like kicking myself. When I was looking around earlier, I kept the poster from our
Uh-huh.
last show, and I could be wrong, but I think it has all the dates that we played and stuff with all like the venues. But it's up on Facebook. You can see we played a show every single night except for like I think one day, and it was because we had like a big travel day in between 2 venues or something like that, and we're like we won't be
Yeah.
able to make it to a venue in between.
That
Like
reminds me of like a marriage, right? Like you just got like you just started dating this girl, but like you suddenly start living with each other, and then you realize like it's too expensive. You can't really stand to be under the same roof as each other, right? That's literally like sounds to me like what happened to you guys.
well, like that's the fun, and like that's the fun part. And like the only silver lining, we were all still like super close with each other. Even by
Yeah.
the end of it, we were like like not at each other's throats. It was a very non-volatile like process, at least from my end. Like I had an amazing time. Those like 5 days that we were touring, would you consider 5 days a week? I mean, at that point you can round it up. We were traveling for like the
People ask me
majority
how
of it.
often I go to the gym. I say every week, and I go 5 days. So yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
It was a week tour, and those 5 days were like hands down the best days of my life. And that
Yeah,
like double solidified that I
that's
want to do music touring for a living, you know? Just
yeah,
like
that's what I
it.
mean. Like even if it was like a weird experience, like surely you felt like all of the musical questions you felt like your whole life, like is this worth it? Like in that moment, you're like, I'm touring. I don't
Mhm.
care if we lose money. I don't care if nobody comes, even if people came. I don't know. I don't care if it's only a week. I don't care if our band breaks up. I'm playing a show every night to at
Mhm.
least one person, and that makes it worth it. Like that to me is an amazing thing that I'm so glad you got to feel. If it was like that for you.
It is exactly like that. I would change one thing.
Uh-huh.
We didn't always play to people. I mean, there were people at every shows.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, it was people showing up for local bands that
Right.
were like on the bill. But we weren't playing. I mean, we were playing for those people, but we were playing really for each other. It felt. I feel like that
Yeah.
sounds so cheesy, but
Nah.
it's like when all you have when you're touring is each other, and the reason you're touring is to get up and put on that show with each other every
Yeah.
night. For those 30 minutes that you're playing, you feel like the world is collectively like yours.
Right.
And it's like we you know this is our art that we're showcasing to people. Like
Yeah.
I I love performing live. Like
Yeah.
that's the one through line that I've been able to find in my life. I was like I can't hold down like a boring ass like desk job. I can't work at Subway. Like I could, I'd be fucking miserable. But like I need to entertain for a living.
Yeah.
Like even like the little chuckle you did under your breath gives me life.
I'm
Like
glad.
I like when I'm on the phone with clients, I am like constantly trying to make them laugh. And I do
Yeah.
real estate photography. I do with real estate agents for a fucking living, dude. These
I
are not laughing people.
I actually get exactly what you mean because I'm building a front end application right now for like
Oh,
some
nice.
business team or another, and it's my job to demo it each week. And so like while I'm walking through like the use case from the customer's point of view, I like because I have to insert my address to show that like the address fields work, and I'm like, make sure nobody's writing it down. I see you, like that sort of thing, and I'm like waiting for a laugh. Nothing. Dead
Nothing.
silence, crickets.
I feel like that's more upsetting because I feel like that might insinuate that someone was writing down and got caught. And they're too embarrassed to laugh because they're like, oh shit, maybe the other people in the room will laugh. But if they're not laughing, does that not also mean that they might not also have been taking down your information?
That's true. That's
The
true.
whole room of non-laughers. If they don't laugh at your joke, they're out to fucking get you. That's what I say.
Bro, I think you spent too much time in the green machine. You're like paranoid.
Nah, man, we spent the prime amount of the green in the green machine with the green supreme.
Oh, nice. I feel like the green supreme would be like if you got because you guys said you broke up, of course. So I'm not like making fun of that. But if you guys had like stayed together and like kept touring, like then you would have become the green supreme. You know what I mean? And then maybe like you get
Yeah,
better and you become like the green dream. I feel like there's like a growth arc there.
dude, how is that not a weed strain? They have Blue Dream.
The green dream.
Yeah, I feel
I'm
like
not
that's just
sure.
like the next step up. Sorry,
All
I'm
I
like
know is what's that one they call everybody talks about it.
Pineapple Express,
No,
Boba
that's a great
Kush.
movie though. That's a great movie though.
Am
Nah, I
I
can't
just
remember it.
exposing myself by naming weed strains? Like,
Yeah, I don't know
don't look
any.
behind us. The FBI agent is in the van.
Bro, they're all. Wait, is that a strain?
That's from Ted 2.
Oh, gotcha.
Name
Dude,
of a strain from Ted 2.
I'm so underdeveloped on like pop culture comedies.
Don't be too hard on yourself. Pop culture is literally my life.
Yeah, fair enough. It always
Like
has been.
I saw those. Yeah, I mean, you remember my addiction to
Yeah.
collecting fucking monopolies.
Yo.
Fucking deep cut, my dude. Fucking deep cut. It didn't stop It didn't fucking stop. My family gets them for my Christmas.
The worst thing you can do is give this guy more money because he's just gonna buy Monopoly paraphernalia.
I'm cool for now because I have all of the franchises that are currently relevant to me.
How many Monopoly boards do you have? Roughly.
Rick and Morty, Avengers, South Park, Star Wars, normal.
I feel like we're gonna be here a minute.
Peter
I can
Gabriel
I can
Puppy.
cut.
I've got like Rolling
10
Stones,
hours
Beatles,
later.
10. I've got 10.
That's excessive, honestly.
It's
That's excessive.
excessive. And
Are they all boxed like in their shrink wrap still?
no, I'm not a collector.
Okay.
I'm an
You're an
admirer.
enthusiast.
I'm an enthusiast. You know,
Yeah.
like I understand the appeal to wanting to have like a museum of unwrapped collectibles in your basement. Not really, but you know, it's someone's prerogative. I think
Yeah.
if you're gonna fucking buy something, you should fucking use it. You know, even when I was like, you know, like back when like I was still collecting those, you guys were like, are you gonna like keep them in like the shrink wrap as like a collectible? I was like, no, I'm gonna play them, and if you guys don't want to play them with me, that's fine. But like I'm going to open them and play them and see that Shitty Walk is like a, you know, Shitty Walk and Shitty Sushi is on the South Park board, you know, because you can't tell that from the back of the packaging through the shrink wrap.
My biggest problem is when without fail, I open a Monopoly board out of the shrink wrap, and literally before I can even start the first turn, there's at least one bill missing or like a piece missing. Like I lose pieces so much.
I ordered a Doctor Who Monopoly, and I kept getting one piece that was like one of the Doctor's like, you know, wands or whatever. It kept showing up fucking broken. And so I'd send it back and I'd be like, hey, hot topic, this is broken. Send me a new one. They'd be like, oh, we're so sorry about that. Here's a new one. And I'd open it up and I'd be like, fucking hot topic. This is broken still in a different place.
I feel like that point is just the deficiency in the piece. You should write like Monopoly like HQ or something. Be like, hey, this piece sucks.
Can you send this to me bubble wrapped in styrofoam, hand delivered by you, the CEO of Monopoly from Sweden, sir?
From
Thank
Sweden?
you. I think,
Bro,
I know Parker Bros is in New York.
when I get my pilot license, bro, I'm gonna learn to fly like commercial. I'll fly us out to Sweden, bro. We'll get that piece. We'll get
Kick
that
some
piece.
fucking ass for that piece. We were like, what's a Swedish accent?
I don't. No, 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 no.
No, we don't print these pieces no more. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was close.
That was close.
That was vague.
I minored in voice acting, not major.
But voice acting, I feel like there's like different factions. Like I feel like maybe some people are really good at like dialects. I feel like some people are maybe just really good at like funny voices, and they have like 12 characters in their head that they like go to at any given time. You know, so I don't know if there's like one definitive voice actor.
That's definitely true. There's like
I feel like you're in the latter.
Yeah, no, I'm impressions and dialect are definitely not my strong suit.
And plus, like, you know, let's be honest, I feel like dialects, especially in the world of comedy, it's just not, it doesn't belong there anymore. So like more people are using dialects like for coaching within like plays. Like if you need to like be Swedish, for example, then a dialect coach will come in and like train you, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
But like,
no, I've got like some semblance of like a like if it's like a dialect for a character, I can do that. But like that's as far as I can go. Like I've got like I also don't really do good impressions, really.
I'm really bad at impressions. I could hear something 15 times and I'm like, how did you do that? I just need to make it up myself.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm mostly like that, except my girlfriend loves my Rick and Morty impression.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Can you, and be honest, I don't remember. Can you sing? Do you consider yourself a singer?
That's funny. Funny that you asked that. I actually remember you as one of the people who told me I could.
Is that so? I don't
so.
I couldn't, you know, like, I don't want to make it sad, but you know, like they say when somebody dies, like the first thing you forget is what they sound like. I don't remember like what your voice sounds like when you sing.
Well, and to be fair, I was and still kind of am, such a socially anxious person then that I really didn't sing at all because I was
Yeah.
so like, oh, my voice is terrible. I remember we were in my front room in my house. You were playing Welcome to the Black Parade off your phone. It was raining outside and we were both singing along to it out loud.
Bro.
And like the song finished and you were like, you don't have like a half bad voice. Like not like you didn't say it like verbatim because I feel like that sounds like kind of a dick thing to say. But I remember being like, oh, thank you. Because I know you, I
Yeah.
remember you could sing. So
Well, I was about to, the point I was trying to get to is like, for me, I'm not a singer, and I don't feel like a singer. I never have. I did musical theater for like years and years and years after you and I kind of
oh yeah.
split. I don't like using the word split.
After we separated.
Separated. But no, like I learned tap dance, like I learned like ballet, I learned jazz, I learned like, better ways of like acting in an ensemble. And I spent time singing as well, but I just never felt like I was good at it. And I never got like a lead singing role. Singing's just not my specialty. Better at dancing, better at acting. But I was gonna say, like, I feel like the better you are at like singing also relates to impressions. I feel like it's just the ability to hear something and be able to imitate it, right?
Yeah,
And in
I
that
think.
way, I can't do either.
So my girlfriend is actually she's a singer. She's been trained a bunch, and I'm not being like a. I feel like the word simp is coming to mind, but it's my girlfriend of 2 years. You don't simp over your girlfriend of 2 years. You simp after someone you meet at the grocery store and have like never said a word to. Like
Out of the frame, she's got a knife holding it to you, being like, "You better say I'm a good singer." Oh,
no,
nice. I was half expecting her to be there, like.
if I could have set that up, I fucking would. She gets home in like 30 minutes or something like that.
Nice.
But she, like, my hand to God, she sounds like a Disney princess.
Bro,
Like when she sings, she has like just that natural Disney princess voice.
I have a thing for Disney princesses. So you and me both, bro. Like I love like a girl that can sing and like just sounds beautiful, can dance well. Like that's my type. Love dancers, love singers.
My girlfriend can't dance, but I don't care because
Yeah,
she can fucking sing and she's just as weird as me.
nice. That's hard to
I,
come by. Like, you're
I wish
weird
I could
in a
have her
really
on the
good way.
podcast. Oh,
Like,
thank
I've
you.
always said, like, you're one of the weirdest guys I know, but it's always super refreshing because
Thank
nobody
you.
else is, you know,
I
nobody
appreciate
else
that.
is. And I
Have
mean
you
that.
seen the show Ted Lasso?
No, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm
It's
not good with
on.
shows.
No, you're good. You're good. It's a relatively new show, and it's not like a big show. And also, like you
Yeah,
said, you're not good with shows. I'm not gonna hold it against you for not
I've
knowing the
watched
show.
4 shows, maybe
Yeah,
5. Let's walk through
yeah.
them together. So, Game
Okay,
of
yes.
Thrones,
Oh
obviously.
yeah. Thoughts?
Um, I loved it. People say the last season sucked. I don't care. I enjoyed it. I
You know
liked
what?
it.
I'm very glad that you were able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you, and I'm
People just
not
come
going
with
to.
too much of their own baggage and what they want to see, and it's like, just watch it for what it is, you know?
There's too much expectation. You
Yeah.
can't like you can never satisfyingly predict the ending of something because if you
Especially
predict
for like
if you
so many people.
right. Well, not just that. I'm talking like as an individual person. Like if you predict it, it's not satisfying because you saw it coming.
Exactly.
And if it's
Exactly.
not what you wanted to happen and it doesn't go to your narrative, then like,
Yeah.
what are you fucking watching this for? Go
And
write your own fucking thing. And that was my thing personally. That was my thing when I was watching it. I was like, I feel like I would have had more fun writing my own interpretation of what could have happened to
yeah.
these characters in like the last 4 episodes of the show than I
Yeah.
actually did watching the show
Right.
because I just feel like there was something missing.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not an acclaimed fucking writer. I haven't won awards. I haven't fucking written I have written some scripts. I took some TV writing classes in college.
Very cool.
But I am not a fucking professional, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, I could have done better than those
Right.
fucking hacks. Take away their Star Wars.
It's so easy to say that though.
It is. It's so
Spoiler
easy.
alert. I want to say this, spoiler alert. My only thing is and this is more of an emotion thing. I wanted to see John get a better treatment than being outcast again, but it makes so
Mhm.
much sense that he did, right? It makes sense. It just makes my heart hurt. That's all. You
I
know?
wanted to see. I was so pissed at the way they killed off Cersei and Jamie.
I
I just
I
thought
I
that was. I thought it was so. They did these like massive threats to the show so dirty by killing them with rocks.
Yeah. Kill
Like-
him with rocks.
That's what happened. They got suffocated. At best,
Died in
name
each
cause
other's
of death.
arms.
Okay, they died in each other's. That's not a cause of death. Name cause of death. I want decapitation. Game of Thrones is famous. Like the first
The
fucking
Mountain,
big
the
death on the
Hound,
show.
bro.
The Mountain, the Hound. That is the type of thing I'm talking about. Fucking tackle him off into the fiery depths of the kingdom. God damn it! Don't suffocate him under some fucking rocks.
Okay. Before we get too much into that, because we could talk about that for hours.
Yes,
I
we
know we
could.
could. We could talk about anything for hours. I know we
Right.
could. We're trying to make up for time.
Can I come back on like a second episode of
We
this?
can.
Or like,
We can definitely run
let's
it
just
back.
call on the side or something like that. Shit, we've got too much to catch up on.
We can definitely run it back, and you can call me whenever. I want to say that. You really can. I'll answer, and if
will.
I can't talk, I'll say, hey, I can't talk. I'll call you back in an hour or whatever. Back to the show. So I've seen Game of Thrones. I've seen Bates Motel. Really enjoyed that one.
Okay.
And by the way, most of the shows that I've watched, it's because an ex got me into them and I have to finish them, right?
I seem to remember Bates Motel being one of those. I could be
Yeah.
wrong if
Audrey
I'm like
got me
on the
into that
time.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm right. I'm right.
And then Riverdale, currently watching that because Brenna got me into that. Sons of Anarchy, my dad got me into that. And then I just watched Squid Game. Really good.
My girlfriend and I
good.
watched that. This shit was so fucking good.
No spoilers, but it's so good. I
You're my
finished it.
gung-fu buddy.
Bro, no, don't say that to me. I'm not gonna say why.
That's fair. That's fair.
Don't
That's
say
fair.
that to me.
That's fair. I'm not gonna say that to you.
I don't like that. Bro,
Yeah, no, I oh my God, he was my favorite character.
yeah, lots of good moments, bro. Bro, this is a hot take. Nobody's gonna like it. And spoiler alert again. Everybody, it's like Ollie deserved better. Bro, I didn't like Ollie. He was too sweet. He was too sweet to be there, bro. He had it coming. You know what I mean? You can't be that sweet going into it, bro. You just can't. You know?
You know what? That's kind of fair. He was too sweet to be there, but he
Yeah.
still stole the money from his boss and like was responsible for crushing his boss's hand in that machine.
True.
So it's like
Oh, that was so gruesome.
that was so fun. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, Ali, you a stone cold motherfucker.
Ooh, yeah, I couldn't watch. I didn't want to watch that. It was bad.
That was fucking intense.
Yeah.
But I kind of see what you mean. Like if he's capable of that, but he's like he was just harsh enough that like because I had that point too. I was like, Ali deserved better, and my girlfriend was like, yeah, but he crushed his fucking boss's hand in the machine, and I'm like, yeah, but he's still too sweet. And she's
Right.
like, no, he had a reason to be there. He needed money. He crushed his hand, ran off when he could have stayed. Like,
True.
even though his boss was
True.
fucking dick and had it coming.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
So yeah, those are the only shows I watch. And I'll probably watch all of them again until I find like one more to add to the list. I like to repeat shows, 100%.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. How about this? If you're looking for any shows, Community.
Okay, so I was thinking about starting that, but then I
Yeah.
just think like that's too much of a commitment, and I'm afraid I won't like it.
No, you like me, right?
I do like you, and I do like Donald Glover.
It's me as a show. It's it. You know how some people like a lot of people are like, The Office is my comfort show. I put on any episode and I can just watch it. Or Parks and Rec is my comfort show. I put on any episode. That's Community for me. Honestly,
Okay.
I have showed
Or Friends.
everybody. What?
There's so many Friends
Yeah.
stands too.
Mhm.
It's-
I have honestly never met an honest to God Friends stan. I only know people who are like, I've never watched it, but I respect its legacy. Or,
Really,
like, that's how I feel about it, you know?
I hope that you
but-
never meet one. They are hard and they are heavy, bro.
I bet.
Yeah, they love Friends. I just don't care for it. I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I like my thing is like I haven't watched it. I watched a couple of episodes and I remember being like, okay, this is TV.
Yeah, let me put it to you this way. I feel like most sitcoms are the embodiment of that friend showing you the meme and they're like, laugh, it's funny. It's funny, you get it? And you're just like, you know? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't find it funny. But I'll try
get that.
Community. I'll try it for you.
Community is. Do you like things that are meta?
I mean, sure. They don't stand out to me if they are.
Yeah. Like in the first episode, the main character is talking to this lunch lady, and he's like just talking out loud to like, you know, just like as sitcom characters do when like some character like leaves them with a zinger and then walks off and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is going to be harder than I expected. And there's a lunch lady to the side of him, and she's like, what? And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I assumed all black ladies over 50 were mystical cosmic beings that were going to be, chauffeuring me through this story. Just like kind of how like all the old sitcoms had like the old black person show up to dispose some wisdom. And she's like,
Yeah.
no, you didn't pay for your fucking meal. Can you come back and pay for it now?
Yeah, and it kind of like turns on its head.
Yeah, like the whole show is like super self-aware of like all the sitcom tropes, and like you're gonna see them like attempt them and then subvert them, and it's just such a fun show.
Yeah,
And
before the week is out, I will watch the first episode. 100%, 100%. And I'm talking the 5-day work week that we were talking about. Okay, so I know we're coming up on time here a little bit, but I need to know a little bit of what happened in Chicago.
Yes. So
a little bit.
Got to Chicago. I was still with Chivalry's Not Dead, and I was actually planning on dropping out of college as a contemporary urban popular music. Yeah, as a cup major. I was gonna I was like 3/4, like maybe even more of the way through my first semester of my freshman year at college, and Jake decides to go and post on the Facebook page that we have all decided to quit our careers and our colleges to go 100% full force into the band.
You're like,
it was a decision we had made.
Oh, so you made it. I thought he just did it.
So the decision was talked about. We were all still kind of going through the like ramifications of where our lives were at, because he wasn't really tethered down anywhere, and he was like, I'm ready to pick up and go full force in this music thing.
Right.
And I was too, but I was in college, and I still needed to talk to my parents and be like, hey, I'm gonna drop back college and pursue music. So they found out about that whole thing from a Facebook post that wasn't from me.
Yikes.
And they hit me with the, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. And I was like, oh no.
And if I know Jensen, it's that he values his parents' opinions more than anything. Yeah, that must have been hard.
It was really hard. I stuck by my decision because it's my passion. It's what I want to do.
Wait, so you dropped out?
No, the band broke up before.
Oh, okay.
So the tour that we did was the winter break between my freshman year, but my first semester and my second semester of freshman year.
Okay.
So I came back and everybody was like, you're still here? I thought you were dropping out. And I was like, the band broke up. I'm back in college.
I feel like it happened for a reason, though.
Exactly.
Do you agree, or do you?
I definitely agree. And like, also I was like, all right, then I'm going to stick through with the cups major. And all they wanted me to do was jazz.
It's not a bad thing. I feel like jazz could teach you more about all the other genres, you know?
It can, but the way they were preparing me for jazz wasn't the direction that I was heading. They wanted me to learn more. So, like, the example that they were prepping in all the classes were when you are a session musician in an orchestra and they put this sheet music down in front of you, you're going to need to know how to sight read it at first glance.
It's like Whiplash.
It's like Whiplash. And I was like, Whiplash has no Warped Tour correlation.
Fair enough.
You don't see the drummer for Sleeping with Sirens have a music stand and a page turner for each of their thing. Like that's not how I want to do music. Right. That's not how I do music, and that's not the direction that I wanted to go. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I've always wanted to do acting, but everybody at my school, it was a liberal arts school, so everybody that I knew that was an acting major was fucking insane, fucking batshit nuts, as theater people are.
Between you and me, I can't stand theater majors anymore.
For me it was comedy majors.
Okay, I could see that.
Because it was one of those things where like you could see it in their eyes. They're just like, you're just waiting to turn everything in this moment into a joke, and you think you're the funniest person in the room right now. And it's like 9 times out of 10, those people aren't the funny ones. But they're just always making fucking jokes and they won't shut the fuck up.
I do see a little bit of that glimmer in your eyes, though, where I'm like, he's thinking of a joke right now.
I'm a comedy major at heart. I dabbled in TV writing. In my senior year, I almost switched majors to TV writing and almost took like an extra half year just because I was like, this is kind of where I'm happy at, like making jokes and writing.
Bro, I think like the important thing, like I'm not saying that you should get a degree that won't pay you anything, but I think the important thing that a lot of people don't understand is that you just got to get one. Once you get one, so many other doors are opened up where like even if you're doing radio or just voice acting or just theater, like you will meet other people that you can bounce around to and you
Hmm.
can pivot if need be, right?
It's the connections that you make, it's the stories that you can tell, and the lessons that you can learn. College is not about the classes. College
Exactly.
is not about the degree. Like, I didn't want to go to college. Like, I was like so against it. And my parents were like, "You're going to fucking college."
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "It doesn't matter what your degree is in, just get a degree, because 95% of jobs will see that degree as a sign that you will like go to something and stick with it.
Yeah.
Like
And he
it's
makes a
a
good
it's a sign of
point.
maturity."
And he
And
makes a good point.
mhm.
You know, my dad, he forced me basically to stick with the thing I started, which was computer science. Hardest thing I've ever had to do. Hardest thing I've ever had to do. And
I
I did like
imagine.
450 job applications. I didn't get a single one back. And my friend hits me up one day. He's like, "Hey," and I met this dude my first year at William and Mary. He was a senior and he was in the consulting lab helping all of like the undergrads.
Mhm.
And basically, he hit me up like 2 months before I graduated and was like, "Hey, I remember giving you my number like years and years ago. Like, we have an opening at my like at this company I work for. Did you need a job?" And he was like, "Yeah, go ahead and send your application." And I sent it and I got it. And it's
Dude,
like
that's awesome.
it's crazy how life works, you know?
Dude,
And
really.
also like the things that we do aren't like linear. Like for me, yeah, I box and yeah, I like do amateur fights and all that stuff, but so much of what I learned there makes me better as a coder. You know, hard work, dedication, determination, and so much of what I do as a coder, you know, patience, determination as well. It feeds back into the boxing thing. So I
Mhm.
think even if you're not majoring in drumming, you're still learning things that can help you in each facet of your life from what you got out of college,
Yeah.
right?
Determination, or especially for me, preparation. Just like the
Yeah,
way I like approach going into like a voice acting session versus like going to be in the studio to like
yeah,
help write drums and stuff. Like it's you know, it's a bit of back and forth, but I think like everything in life can kind of boil down to simple like brain mechanics, and like the activities that you partake in kind
right.
of help each of those different brain mechanics just function in different ways, and those brain mechanics kick in at weird times in like the hobbies that we indulge in. And
Yeah,
like you know, like you said, the determination, like when you're kickboxing and stuff like that, like determination, like patience to wait out like when your opening is to like get like good
yeah.
hook in. And then determination when you're like really stuck on a fucking piece of code that just won't fucking work with you, and you're like,
Oh,
I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna sit through and I'm going to beat this. It's that raw determination, and it's like it's animalistic and instinctual.
the way you just gamified it by saying I'm gonna beat this is so true. Cause I've seriously sat and looked at a computer screen saying the same thing to me for like 8 hours, and it ends up being a semicolon that I needed. And I'm like, oh, oh,
Okay.
got it. So I put the semicolon in, I run it, it's like, okay. See, and then when you get the code working, at least in school, all you get back when you run it through the test is okay. Just says okay. It's like
Okay.
it's like great. All that for
Good
okay.
job. Gold star.
No,
Fantastic.
if they said that I'd be happier, but they just say okay.
I feel like gold star after a bit would feel a bit patronizing. Like first
Uh,
time you get gold star, it's like, oh, thank you. And like 35th time, it's like gold star. It's like, fuck you.
honestly, with how beaten down computer science majors are, I think they need a little patronizing. Patronizing. I always confuse that word. I don't know what the right one is.
What was it the other day? There was a word that I said, and my girlfriend was like, oh, I forgot you pronounce it that way. Let's never say that word in conversation again.
I'm interested what it is. When
I
you
am
wake up in the
too.
middle of the night and remember what it is,
I'll
text
text
me
it.
because I need to know.
Mhm. It's gonna be
Okay.
on my mind for the rest of this.
So
I'm sorry, I keep getting on tangents.
no, I was about to say I feel like we can run it back another time. Like this is
Okay.
like the part one, and we're gonna have like a part two where
You want me back for a part two?
where I get the lost chapters. Yeah, we'll call them the
I,
lost chapters, bro.
I've deemed a lost chapter.
Yeah, so I've gotten everything up to like mid Chicago. I need everything from mid Chicago to like present whenever we run it
You,
back.
you don't have the "Where Are They Now" segment.
Bro, that's
I
gonna
haven't
be when
I've
you're
I haven't
when
even touched on like why I'm in the band I'm in now.
bro, I gotta pee.
Dude, like I'm not no dude, I'm not trying to guilt trip you into like, oh come on
I'm
man, I want
just
to talk more about me.
the
Not
thing
like
that sucks is like 7 years, bro. 7 years
yeah,
of your life I have to catch up on in a matter. Well, I don't have to in an hour, but I feel like I do because it's like,
yeah.
how am I gonna sleep tonight not knowing everything that happened? I'll leave you with this and then we'll close out. I was considering drafting a text the other day, and there's some like inner turmoil. I don't know the drama, so like I'm not going to pretend I do, but I was considering drafting a text to you, Tom, Johnny, Danny, Peter, like everybody, and just saying, when can we all be in Leesburg for a week? Because like if I can find time to do that, I know at least all of us can find time within a year to do that. I just didn't send it because I didn't know like if it looks stupid. But can you like imagine like how we would even interact with each other? Like how would that even work? I haven't seen Thomas, who is like we communicate every day. We
Mhm.
literally call each other every day. I haven't seen him in 5, almost 6 years.
He lived with me, and
Yeah,
I haven't seen him in 2 years.
that's crazy.
I mean, like also pandemic and shit.
Yeah.
But like
Well, if I haven't seen him in six, bro, I haven't seen you in longer.
yeah.
At least like, well, no, it's probably
Let,
7
let,
or 8.
us run it back. I moved 2013.
You moved 2013?
Yeah.
That's wild. Then that means it's 5, 6, so it's like 8 years. My math is spotty, but it's like 8 years, give or take.
If your math is spotty, my math is a blank page.
I like calculus. I'm just not good at it.
I don't like math,
I
and
love math. I'm just not good at
dude,
it
I forgot about that.
because it works. It works. Like nothing in life works as well as math does, and it's easily repeatable. It's like a game, you know?
I get that.
Yeah.
It's just a game that I can't play very well, you know. And you can only get your ass kicked in Twister so many times before you're just like, you know what? I'm gonna fake pulling my ass hamstring
Nah,
and just sit this next game out.
I'm the guy that plays Dark Souls and I jump into the hardest available boss immediately. I will spend 13 hours trying to beat that boss. And when I finally get it, so good. So good.
And you're playing as the one that has no armor, right? Just the
Yeah.
nudist in the cloth.
Yeah. Punching a demon with my fists. Yeah, pretty much. No, but let's plan to run it back. Let's also maybe consider a time when we could get everybody together because I think that would be
Yes,
legendary, epic proportions.
I could die happy if that happened.
Yeah.
Just the stakes and the
Stakes.
ramifications. I feel like stakes is so
I feel like
dramatic.
a TV show needs like Love Island needs to happen where it brings all of us back or Squid Game. It's either got to be Love Island or Squid Game where it brings us all back.
Can I
And we have
suggest like a happy medium? Have you seen the game Tag? Where those they've been playing the lifelong game of tag, and they show up at like different points in
No,
each other's
Jensen. We either
lives.
need to kill each other or fall in love with each other. There's no in between.
I picked Love Island. I want 17 brother wives.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining us on this lovely episode of Push to Talk. We're joined by Jensen Cameron. Where can they follow you? What's
Uh,
the at?
oh my goodness. So you can follow me at. I want to make sure that I get this
I'll
right.
put it in your box so you don't need to
Okay.
like be too specific.
I'm at Instagram. Who that H_CK is Jensen Cameron. You
Nice.
can follow my band at stillworldband.com. I
Which we'll
guess
hear more about on the next episode.
yes, on the next episode, a little teaser
Little
if you want to,
cliffhanger.
a little cliffhanger if you want a little more about little old me.
And I guess like give me one sentence about the things that you're planning for the future. What are the plans? What's the plan to take over the world, man?
What's my plan to take over the world?
Yeah,
Passion, man.
passion.
I like it. I feel like I started off that word like halfway, just like passion, man. But then like I kind of ended it and I was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna be serious. Like
You leaned into it, yeah.
I'm gonna lean into it. Like I feel like the one thing that I have to bring to this world is passion for entertainment and
Yeah,
entertaining people and bringing joy to people. And that's what I plan to do in one way or another. I want to make people happy.
yeah. And I
And
can
if
agree with that. Even though I feel like you don't reach out to your friends as much as you could, I feel like when you do see them, when you finally see them, you are the most selfless person I know, and you just care about making that other person feel good, feel accomplished, feel happy. And there's not a
it,
lot of people that do that.
I appreciate that, my guy. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry that I'm like terrible at like keeping in contact with people. I like it's that thing where it's like it's been so long since I've contacted them that is it weird if I contact them now? But like the other half of my mind is like the longer you wait, the weirder it gets.
Goes back to the social anxiety.
Dude, I got such bad social anxiety. It's fucking horrendous. That is the biggest growing up moment that I had was realizing, oh, okay, I like people, but they scare me a lot unless they have a big smile on their face, and then I'm okay.
Well, I'll always have a smile for you, Jensen.
That's
Always.
how I've always remembered you, man. That's why I love you.
Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for
I
having
hope
me.
everyone has a wonderful day, and you'll see this guy again very, very soon.
Have a
Thank you.
beautiful life.